So today marks my 1 year anniversary of being invested within the stock market, and what a year it has been. Last year we have seen double digit returns and my portfolio is on fire. I've invested into individual companies as well, which has added to that growth. So I'm really excited to show you guys my portfolio update as we continue throughout this year. There's genuinely a huge opportunity, especially if you're living within the UK, to take advantage of the ISAs. Now, less than 10% of people actually use their ISAs, and there are more and more ISA millionaires each and every year. So the younger you are, the better chance you will allow compound interest to take place, so you can take advantage of those returns as you see your portfolio increase. So listen up on today's video as we will be diving into my current journey. And again, if you want a better understanding of how to actually set up an ISA and get yourself started, leave that in the comments below and I'll create that video for you. And it's insane because I was reading and looking at a statistic, and quite literally billions of pounds sit in cash in bank accounts earning less than a couple of percent each year, when even if you put that money into a cash ISA, you're still going to outperform the majority of people. So that's why it's so important. And it's really got me reflecting, like, if you're not invested right now, especially if you're in your 20s, I hope this video can inspire you in some sort of way to get yourself, even if it's something as little as £100, but to commit to something for the long term so you can see that compounded growth as you progress through the years. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about my current returns and the current outlook of the stock market, why I've invested into specific ETFs and companies, which I'll be covering, and what I'm going to be doing moving forward. Am I going to be sticking with the companies that I've invested in and doubling down on them, or am I going to diversify a little bit, spread out some risk, invest into different asset classes? So we're going to be talking about that on today's video. So the platform we are using is Trading 212. Now, I've used many different brokers and platforms in the past, and this is by far the best, mainly because it's commission-free investing. Now, if you're curious and wanting to open an account, there's a link in the description below where you can get yourself a free share, which you can obviously make some money from. But I guess to kind of kick it off the face of the portfolio, like I mentioned, it's doing very well. Currently the rate of return is 23% exactly, and if we have a look, scroll down, we can see my ISA allowance, and I've currently used about £9,000 of it. We can also see the cash sitting in the portfolio, so around £30 there, which is mainly just interest and dividend payments. Now here we can see my total investments, what I'm currently holding, what they're trading at, their values today, and obviously most of my portfolio is comprised of the S&P 500. Now the S&P 500 is basically the largest companies within the US are being held in this ETF. So you can buy a slice, for example, of Apple, of Tesla, and it's all within this portfolio ETF here. As we break down the portfolio, this is mainly my long-term holdings, as typically the S&P 500 will appreciate over the long term. Next, what we're holding in the portfolio is Alibaba. Now they're a Chinese company, and some people may say this is quite a risky stock, but if you look at the financials, you can see that it is a great company. Now I can make a whole new video on this stock alone, but just right off the bat, we're at attractive levels here. If you're looking at the ratios and the valuations, like the PE ratio, we are trading at attractive levels. So that's why what I've been doing is I've been scaling into this position as we are in this downward market now, looking at the longer term growth to eventually hit around COVID times here, so it's around 2020, because we haven't really recovered from that period. So it's definitely a longer term, more riskier holding, but it's a good company and I'm happy with how I'm positioning myself into it. Next, we have our Vanguard FTSE Emerging Markets ETF. So these are going to be stocks within emerging markets. So think Asia, for example. We're going to be tracking this ETF because we want to be diversified. So what I've done is I've got a small position in here, mainly focused on the emerging space, because a lot of my investments already are in the developed markets, so it's good to diversify some of my money there for the long term. And lastly, we have Google. Now, I've actually already invested in Google, which I will put a screenshot up here, and Microsoft as well. Now, again, I can make a completely different video of why I've invested in these companies, but essentially I purchased them before the whole AI bubble and the whole Nvidia story, right? Because they were trading at good prices. They were sort of companies with growing financials as well. So I've mainly been scaling myself into that on my other account on Freetrade. But this is a smaller holding I've got here on Google. Don't have any plans to sell it now. However, there was speculation of, potentially Google having to sell parts of Google Chrome, because essentially they're becoming like a monopoly. So I'm keeping an eye out for that this year. So around April, we will see if they will actually have to sell Chrome, which won't be great, as they are their biggest revenue generator at the moment. So what am I going to be doing moving forward? How am I positioning myself in the market? Where are the opportunities, basically? Now, I'm still going to be investing within my S&P 500 ETF every single month. I'm also going to scale in to the Alibaba position. Once I hit my total invested amount, that's when I will stop investing into that, because what I'm doing is I'm dollar cost averaging into these positions, which basically means I'm buying at different price points in the market. I'm not looking at trend lines. I'm solely basing my decisions of the financials and the actual real value of these companies. At the moment, I'm keeping my portfolio fairly simple, as I do have two accounts. So I do have Microsoft and I have a larger holding in Google as well. And I'm not looking to add crazy different stocks into the portfolio unless anything comes up that looks of interest. But I think main thing to do is keep it as simple and as routine as possible. Don't try and overcomplicate things. You don't have to have 100 different stocks within one portfolio. But that is everything for the video. Now, I'm interested to see what you guys are investing in, how you're investing in, and what your thoughts again on my portfolio. Now, if there's anything else that you want me to cover throughout my next episode or my next portfolio update, let me know and I can touch on those topics in the next video. Thank you for watching.